So, what did you want to spotlight on?
Remember that day you were saying something about within the first 2 years, any business will have to change something or something like that? I don't remember exactly what the...
Yeah, I mean, every business that's created will have to do some sort of pivot because they'll realize something when they start building. Yeah, at some point. I did mine about 3 months in,
Well,
maybe 6 months in. Yeah, something like
it's about 6 months in, so here's our pivot.
that.
Okay, so the thing that I'm kind of realizing is that, I mean, being back here, being home, having my, network, the audience or whoever I was talking to it, pitching to, or kind of targeting when we were on the road was very different from the people that I know here.
Mm-hmm.
The people that I know here back home is Africans, mostly Kenyans. My business partner knows a bunch of Nigerians.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're gonna pivot to getting some shirts. I mean, we already have some Kenya shirts, but maybe doing one in Swahili as well as the English one, and then doing Nigerian shirts, either Yoruba or Igbo. And then the thing that I'm running into again with the audience or the network that I have here is that they're looking at that price point and their eyes are bugging out. Like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, they are not willing to pay that much. Yeah, so that means we're gonna have to change pricing, and we're looking at a 20 to 25 bracket. I'm not really willing to go less unless we do some really cheap stuff, which again, I don't really want to do because, that's not, but I think about 20 to 25 seems to be like a palatable, like they'd be like, okay, I can fork out. And because I've asked a few people, I'm like, okay, so you don't want to pay this. How much would you pay for this? They're like, 20, most 25. So that seems to be a comfortable price point for a lot of people, which then means that we have to change the vendor. Either go to the one that we had before was cheaper. It was about $8 to $10 per shirt. They were providing the shirts, obviously shipping, all of that. It was just on demand. And with that, this price point is manageable. It's, like I can be like, okay. But with Printful, our shirts are between $14 and $16. If we're selling them for $20, and that's before shipping. You're not,
Make enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So right now we're looking at either going back to T-Launch. I'm going to take a look at the sample that we got from them because I never got to see it. I just, whatever she told me, like she's like, oh, this is not good. I was like, all right, scrap it. Look for a different one. Looking at that, but also kind of looking at possibly doing like in-home type stuff, like buying bulk shirts and then either getting them printed locally or someone wants to do a home screen printing thing, which just because I feel like if it was just like outlines or words or something really simple, I think it would be possible, even, preferable. But our design has a lot going on. It has 3 colors, and a lot of screen printing places locally quote you per color, like how many colors do you have, and we can't really cut down on the colors either because it's very, it's very much, the hair is black, the face is that grayish whatever, and then the country and text is red. So yeah, unless we maybe take out the face color so that it's the same color as the shirt, but I think that's gonna look funky. I don't know. And then finally,
What's up, Jason?
Oh, hey, Jason.
We don't know where everyone else is, so. Oh.
I don't know if you can hear us. Anyway, and then with all these changes, that means that we're going to have to also change marketing to reflect the change of audience and kind of point it towards that. I don't know that it's going to be that much different, but it's certainly going to have to take a different turn, look, whatever. So, yeah. Oh, and we decided on a tagline, and it is "Start the conversation."
I like it.
Me too.
Cool. So, wait, remind me. Jason, can you hear us?
Yep, I'm clear.
What's up, by the way. So we don't know where everyone else is. But Maculate, you want to give Jason like the 30-second summary of what you just talked about? Yeah.
So first, the tagline: "Start the conversation." We dropped the "Stop the bullshit" because I think I wanted it short.
Mm-hmm.
My 30 seconds begins now. We're going to have to pivot and target the immediate network that we have. My business partner and I have Kenyans, Nigerians, mostly Africans in our immediate / whatever circles, which means we're going to have to change t-shirt vendors because printful is about $14 to $16 depending on the type of shirt, whether it's unisex, women's, whatever. And at the price point that they're willing to pay, which is between $20 and $25, it just doesn't seem like it's worth it for us. So we're gonna have to change vendors, either go to a cheaper on-demand printing kind of thing, or do in-house like local printing and then ship them ourselves. And that also means, well, I said the changing of pricing, and then that also means that we have to change marketing to reflect the audience that we will be targeting. Ta-da!
Okay. Yeah. Cool. So what were you targeting before, or what are you changing?
I think that prior, the market that I was looking at, or that I was really talking to, is a lot of the digital nomads, a lot of remote year peeps, a lot of travelers that I knew that they would really enjoy this product and that they would actually use it. But it's a little bit difficult because most of them aren't home, which means that they would have to get the stuff shipped to wherever they are. And if they're in remote year, you don't know where that's going to be unless you have. So in the interest of getting our name and our company out there, hopefully boosting sales, then we can start with the people that we already know. Hey, Danielle. The people that we already know, and just kind of hope to build from there, because that's the feedback that I got a lot in Dallas, where I went to hand out like the discount cards and send them people to the website, was about $29 is too much. And so
how did it go? The conference or whatever, were you handing out shirts, or how did that?
So that sort of fell through a little bit. Our shirts didn't get there until after the Memorial weekend was done. I think we got in on the 30th, so that was already past that. But I had the shirts that I had like 4-ish shirts on me, so I wore some. I had a friend of mine also wear the others, and then we had these cards that we were handing out for a 10% Memorial Day sale that they would get if they ordered. And obviously people are gonna ask, oh, where can I find the shirts? Here's the website. Oh, $29, that's a lot of money. One shirt? So that was a lot of, and then I just, I don't know, naturally just asked like, oh, that's too much, what are you willing to pay for?
Okay. Yeah, well, that sounds like there's some good research for you anyway.
Yeah.
There's customer testing.
So walking me through kind of what your future looks like with this. Like, where are you trying to take this start the conversation concept? I have a purpose behind it, but what are you trying to do with take the conversation concept? And would that be hindered, assisted, or neutral by the price lowering and the quality of shirt changing? So first, where are you trying to take this start the conversation concept in the next, 6 months, year, or whatever?
I think that the whole point of it is to start the conversation. I really want these conversations to happen, not just in my circle, because I constantly have them, but other people having those conversations. I want this to be something that people hang on to, something that they're like, hey, have you checked out this thing? Sounds like, a friend of mine would really like it. Forward, and then just kind of seeing a little bit of traction with people being interested in the content, being interested in sharing what we're talking about, being interested in having the conversation, or pulling people into the conversation. I don't really want the quality of the shirts to fall significantly. I think that we can probably get the same shirts, just it depends on the company, right? It's like it depends on whose hands it's in. Mm-hmm. So I don't really want the quality to change that much, because I still want it to be something that I'd be like, yeah, I'd wear that. Because if I get to a point where I'm like, oh, that's fast fashion, that's stuff that falls apart in a few washes, then that just goes against a lot of what we're about.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so like, I was wondering if when you're selling these, you're selling this like not as a shirt. You're not saying, hey, buy this shirt. You're basically saying, hey, like, purchase this conversation starter, purchase this concept, this, I don't know. You're not selling a shirt. You're selling something else. And
right.
The more you push that, you may be able to possibly keep the same price bracket or not lower it that much, because you're basically trying to, I don't know how easy this would be to do, but if you're going that route of start the conversation and you're trying to do something bigger than just shirts. So shirts are just the kind of the facilitators, or
like the vehicle. Yeah.
The vehicle. That's perfect. Yeah. Then you may be able to say, like, it's not $29 for a shirt. It's $29 for this bigger thing that this shirt is the starter of. You're buying the starter package. The same concept that Starbucks had was they weren't selling coffee per se. Like, they were selling. That's why they changed all their coffee shops to look more like your local living room sort of thing, to make it more comfortable. They're selling the atmosphere. They're selling experience. They're selling grande lattes and venti coffees, and they're not in their cafe of the day or whatever. They're not selling just a cup of coffee which costs $1. They're selling this other thing which costs $4 or $5, and over time they're able to kind of make a market out of that. So it's a constant thing. You could probably still chop a few dollars off the price, but you also could say you're not buying just a t-shirt, you're buying something bigger than that. The t-shirt's a starter. That's something to think about, at least. If you don't want to go through all the, you can see if that works at all as well. You kind of see where it is. Because my view is, like, if you go from 29 to 25, is that $4 really making or breaking people if they want this shirt? You're saying you wouldn't buy it for 29, but you'd buy it for 25. What if you say, well, would you buy it for 29? I'll give you a $4 mail-in rebate or something, or whatever, and see if they do it. Something like that, to see if people actually, if the 25 is a big difference. It really might be, and you might want to lower that price down to 25, 23, whatever, but there'd be different ways to experiment and possibly market it to see if that could help prevent you from having to change all this. So maybe not. You can also do that right now while you're contemplating if the 25 is a big one. Maybe do something like that. Say $29, but if you buy now, get $5 back or whatever. You may make not that much money, but you can see if that is enough to get people to actually do it, and make them do something like, it's $29. We'll give you $5 back if you do this. Maybe if you share our page 3 times, or if you something like that. See if people take that extra step for the $5, and you can see if people actually care about that. And if they do, then you can lower the price and say, okay, the price match is this. It'd be an experiment while you're shifting gears. So that'd be my 2 thoughts. But yeah, I'd be interested to see. So you're going to start with the Don't Touch My Hair shirts, and you'll, I guess, are you going to make more designs or more languages or both? No language, so more language, yes, but are you doing more designs as well, or not sure?
We have one more design with Dana for sure right now. But I guess it all kind of depends on what push we feel.
Mm-hmm.
We want to have more designs, but we don't want to have more designs if nobody's buying any designs.
Right.
So nobody's having the conversation. Nobody's, if it's a scrollable thing, it doesn't make you stop and question or be, I guess, intrigued by it. So
yeah.
Does having
go ahead.
Does having more designs increase your cost, your production cost?
Not if we use an on-demand printing company, just because we just have we do like a mock-up generator, and then whenever someone clicks on whatever, then they order that, then they'll ship it. But if we end up moving that stuff in-house, then yeah, probably.
Okay. Yeah, my only thought there was like, my gut reaction was to say to like sort of limit the number of designs at first until you can get some traction. And then, because I don't know that much about the retail market, but what I'm assuming is that if you want to reduce costs, if you have like one design or something and you say, oh, I want 10,000 of these, it could be like, all right, we'll cut you a break on, the cost, right? Because they're just doing the same thing over and over. But if it's like 10 different designs, they might not be able to give you that price break.
Right.
With the big manufacturers. Just thought.
Yeah. Also, are you going to have, or do you have any ideas? Are you going to have other conversation starters besides Don't Touch My Hair? Is there like an idea for that route as well?
We talked about, actually, we just had our meeting earlier today, and we were talking about a lot of people get what are you really? Like when someone asks you, like, where are you from? Or I have a newly trans friend who always gets are you a boy or are you a girl? So there's a little bit of that. We don't exactly know how we'll go that way. I don't know if there'll always be, a shirt of a beautiful man or a woman saying, don't ask me about, we're not really sure exactly how, but we're certainly looking at the gender, sex, biology part of it. And then we talked about the other, what are you really, but we don't really know how we'll tackle that, but it's something we're talking about. And then actually I have a surprising number of bald friends. They're like, are you going to make one for, me? I don't have any hair. So, but people always come and touch me. And then an enormous number of people are pregnant. They always complain about the belly thing. And these are all things that are out there, are possible. We don't know which ones we're going to grab on and move to. But all of them, I think the thing that I like about all of these ideas is that bottom line, it's about respecting someone's space. It's about respecting their person and realizing that they're more than just something for you to touch or look at or whatever. Just so.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah. So the cool thing is that you are selling conversation starters, selling this this vehicle to possibly make people more aware of things that they should and shouldn't do. And so, yeah, I mean, like that's when you're marketing whatever, whether it's always t-shirts, always apparel, whatever, you kind of make sure that you're selling the concept and not the item. And the concept is always worth more than the item. So, especially if you're definitely going to go down this path where you're going to work with whether it's trans or bald people or whatever, that may be a really useful way to price better, or to be able to, I'm not saying charge more for the sake of charging more, but to keep this vehicle saying, okay, well, I don't have to house the shirts myself. I like the quality. This company can ship them, so it makes it a little easier for me. So I can focus on other things like pushing the concept, pushing the conversations through blogs or whatever, because I don't have to put shirts in boxes. So, you can, it's not just trying to make another dollar. It's just making sure that you can keep doing what you're doing and not having to constantly fight customers for $1 or $2 here and there. You're basically saying, no, like this is a bigger thing than just a shirt. So, you got a visitor. So that's just some, especially because you've got this roadmap to go, like, continue to go with products that have this big. When you kind of sell it, you're selling something bigger than just the product. That may help when you think about pricing as well, to consider.
Yeah, have you thought about, like, it got me thinking too, like the concept of what you're selling versus just the t-shirt, right? It's not just a t-shirt. So it's like, I'm trying to think of a good example. There's companies, or there's, like, let's just say, like, there's a travel blogger or something, right? That's got a lot of followers and people reading this stuff because they like what they're posting. Then they have that integrated user base right there, right? And then at one point they may be like, oh, I have this cool site everyone likes. I'm going to start selling shirts, right? If you had, so your website, if you have this I don't know, blog posts or content that you're putting up there, and you're, sharing on social media, and you get people following you, and you get likes on all those likes on Facebook and stuff like that. I think that just adds to the brand, and it's going to be more, I think, make more people more likely to buy a shirt because it's connected to something that's right, that has like I'm just going to say organization, right? Or somebody that's doing something to raise awareness.
Yeah, that makes sense. We actually also talked about the blog today, surprisingly, and we were thinking about doing, I don't really know what the name of the blog will be, but it's attached to our website, and it's going to be doing a little bit of highlighting some of the interviews that we've done, or that I've done. Like I started with my models, and then I got a lot of stories from Nation as a whole, and I think I was going to call them war stories or something like that, something about main event, but war stories I kind of like, just highlighting those stories again. It's again, like you said, it's more than just the shirt. It's about these experiences that people are having every single day, whether they're in Minnesota, which it happened today. Man, I was about to smack a hoe.
Really? Jeez.
Yeah. Or if it's in Vietnam and you just covered in grease because they couldn't believe that your skin doesn't rub off. It's like, I don't know. I think I like the idea of highlighting these stories, putting a face to them, because I have most of their pictures, I think, and obviously they've consented to this. It's not like I'm going to share this shit without telling them. But yeah, I've gotten a number of stories, and I am certain I can get more from even the same person. I could get from more people. Just, it's an epidemic, y'all. It's a real thing here.
Have you thought about video interviews so people can actually see the face of the person telling the story? It'd be easier for you as well, or do you want to write it? Or both?
So the thing that I did was I came up with like a list of, I think, 9 questions. They're a little bit directed but not pointed. So the first thing I do is, you eating chips? I hear. The first thing we do is we define the main event, and the main event is when an unwanted hand touches your hair, right. And it's put that way specifically because it could be a coworker and it could still be unwanted. It could be a stranger and it most definitely is unwanted. It could be a friend and it can still be unwanted. So then that's the definition, and then it goes down to tell us about your main event. How did you feel about it? Do you know why you felt that way? And then we talk about what are the other questions we have? How do you wish they would have approached you? What do you wish you could tell them? Mm-hmm. Do you have any friends or family that would be interested in sharing their story? Do you have any educational material? Do you have anything outside of these questions to share with us? So these are just kind of guidelines, but if someone wanted to say something outside of that, or their story didn't necessarily fit, like say Gianna didn't really have the hair thing, but they could think about a time when someone just touched them anyway without them wanting. And again, it's consent, it's autonomy, it's all those things that just seem to be the foundation of all this shit. Is like, yeah, don't fucking touch me. You don't know me. You didn't ask for permission. You just you're taking it upon yourself, and just kind of those are the good thing about it is since most of them are over email or Slack or some kind of electronic format, I don't really have to write a lot. I would maybe do like an intro to the person and whatever, and then do like a conclusion thing. Yeah. That's it. Post.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah.
You could even do, to keep the content sort of fresh and coming. What people have told me is instead of posting all at once, and maybe I already noticed, but just have like a backlog of content. You do all these interviews, you write these stories, right? And then you just once a week or whatever, right, post it up there, so you're constantly getting that yeah. and that helps the Google Analytics actually as well, right? So.
Yeah, that's something that I definitely, especially for Facebook, scheduling posts. Yeah. Oh my God, that is the most amazing thing ever. Yeah. I just put them, especially since I took it upon myself to start Trivia Tuesdays, where I have to make this little, design thing, find a fact, and then, Lord, it's just a lot that I brought on that I didn't really think through. I was just really excited about the idea. Yeah. But now it's every 2 weeks, every Tuesday. It goes up. I'm working on, and that's probably what I'll be working on in study hall, is just making more of those facts and then just scheduling them every 2 weeks, and then all those things. And then you brought up Google whatever analytics. I know nothing about that. Could you point me in a way where I can read about it, understand a little bit more about it? Because I don't know that I think we're searchable. I'm trying to learn about this SEO bullshit. I really just want to get to a point where all my minions can work on this.
Yeah. I actually just watched because I don't know anything about SEOs either. On Udemy, I had a pretty quick course. It was like 8 videos, and the guy was really good. He walked through like basically all the steps of SEO, like how to basically set it up and things. I can either send you the link to his thing. It's pretty cheap, or try to see if I can just get the videos to you. I'll look into it, but it took me like maybe an hour to watch the whole thing, all the videos. I just took notes, and I'm going to implement that pretty soon. It was like, oh, like this isn't that hard. Like he basically is like, you just got to do this. You got to research and got to play with it. But I was like, it's not as hard as I thought it was of how to do it. So
yeah, there's like a few, basic things you can do just to really improve your Google's, search engine optimization. I mean, there's people whose whole jobs is, to do that. But there's like, you can just do the easy, there's little things you can do.
Yeah.
without too much effort. Like you said, Josh, that I think will help a lot.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll try to get that to you, Immaculate. Cool. Awesome.
That's all I got.
That's good stuff. Yeah, and yeah, keep us posted on what you guys are going to do with that pricing, and if you want to experiment with different things before you just straight up lower the price. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
I have one other question too. Because you guys are very much a product to facilitate a conversation, a concept, do you and your business partner, have y'all sat down and actually come up with a kind of a mission and vision for the company as a whole? Say like, this is what we want to do, this is where we want to go, and this is what we're trying, this is why we created this business and what we're trying to accomplish. You all had that?
Yep. Actually, we did it with when we were working with Cassie for the logo. Like I said, I just thought she could just sit down and throw in some things but she had us do this homework separately about what's our mission, what's our vision, what are things that we want people to hear or feel about our company, and what do we not want them to feel. So we did a lot of that, and I think that even though we're pivoting a little bit, I think that the mission and the vision still stands, because again, everything that we're doing is still about consent, still about autonomy, still about protecting your own space and having people respect that space.
Mm-hmm.
So that's happily stayed the same.
Yeah.
Because
cool. Yeah, I mean, Dylan, Minji, Megan, and I have been doing that, and we've now got it down to pretty much what our mission vision is. It's really like a lot of conversations about what is it, what we're trying to do, we're trying to offer to make sure that our foundation is the same, kind of what we wanted to do. So I felt that was really, really important. So, and as you start talking about what do we do, not just pricing, but you're talking about how's this blog going to work, what is our next product, what steps we need to take, do we need to do this? Like, it's good to have that foundation of whatever we're doing is it supporting the thing we're trying to do. And if by, let's say, lowering the price, if we lower the price, we will actually be better able to do the thing we're trying to do, then cool, do it. If we lower the price, it will hinder our ability to do it. Then that's the thing. Okay, well, maybe we shouldn't. Let's have something else to do. So that's, and then any question you ever have, if you're not sure, that's always the best thing. And so even though you may pivot kind of more surface level, the base will stay the same, which is good. So, cool. Well, all right. Anything else?
No.
Cool.
Oh, actually, there is one thing that I kind of thought of, and I think I kind of have the answer, but so we've had a few sales, and they've all been like close-ish friends, like people that I'm in one of these people's weddings, so I'd say they're decent enough friends. If we end up lowering our price, would it be appropriate or inappropriate to kind of address that with them? Like, they obviously bought these shirts at $29. Like, would this be something that we want to address with them specifically because they're friends? I know I asked myself, if some random person that I don't know from the next person did it, would I still feel the same way? And the answer was no. But since it is friends, it is people who put their money where the mouth is and have supported us, would it be worth, I guess, addressing it somehow? And I don't know if that comes as a 15 or 20% off a new sale, or if it's we send them something, I don't know what, as a token of appreciation for being number one, or I don't know what it is. And again, like I said, if it would be a stranger, thanks.
Yeah.
But since it's a decent friend, would that be an appropriate step to take?
So basically, you're saying like, should you either give them something or acknowledge the fact that they paid more than what you're with? So if you do lower the price, the shirt may change or will change. I know the design won't, but like the actual quality, will that change?
Probably.
So then you're probably fine because you're basically saying that they bought a different shirt.
You got a quality, yeah.
Then they got a better shirt, and that's if you do lower the price. So I'd say that you say, hey, we had to lower because we couldn't, we were trying to get more sales, but you got a better shirt for $29. We're selling a slightly different shirt for a little bit less, and they probably won't have a problem, especially if it's only we're not talking $50, we're talking $5. So
there's one that bought 2 shirts, back to 3 shirts. So that's more who I was really thinking about when this came up in my head. Is like,
if it's one person, and you can just basically say, you can reach out to them and say, hey, thank you so much. Here's what's going on. Here's why. For future products, we'll give you 20% off or whatever if you ever want to do it again. And if you have a problem with it, please reach out. You can do something like that. And if they truly do have an issue, which I'm pretty sure they probably won't, if they do, then they can reach out to you and you just acknowledge it and something like that. Especially if it's only one person, you just talk to them straight up. So I think you're probably cool.
Yep, I agree.
All right. What are you guys working on today? We have 8.5 minutes left.
I am working on looking at T-Launch, possibly seeing if we can do a bulk order for a lot of people who see me with it, who know about it or have heard it from someone else. It's like, oh, where can I get it? I'm like, oh, but you live here and I live here. So thinking about doing a bulk order and seeing if that would be something that we want to do, and then seeing how to connect that with our site, and then just working on some of those highlights and blog posts and quotes for Instagram/Facebook, and more educational material because you can never have enough.
True. Cool. I'm doing actually co-working stuff today. There's a couple of sections in the business plan that I need to finish up, so I'm going to do that. I've got to review a proposal from an attorney that we may use to basically help put together all the and things like that. So I want to review that so that I can send that to the rest of the team. And there's one other thing I have to do. Those 2 things. I forgot something else. But there are 3 things I'm going to do. I'll remember the other thing eventually. So yeah, Jason.
Okay, cool. For me, I think, so I've set up a lot of meetings and talked to a lot of people. I've learned a lot more about the space, I guess, the data as a service space, the ETL space, so forth. And basically what I figured out is there's a lot of competition right now. So like if you go on like angel.co or you look at startups in Austin even, there's a lot of people like within the last, I'd say year or 2, there's people trying to solve the problem there's people that have gotten a jump start on solving the problem that I'm trying to solve.
Gotcha.
I learned a lot by talking through people from RY and just other contacts and stuff like that. I don't know how good the products with these offerings are. They are startups that have been around for maybe a year or 2 that I've seen. So I think the exercise for me is to get like really nailed down like what's out there, what's being funded, like what's their target market, and then basically try to cut out a niche for myself, like a niche that's not being addressed.
Yep.
So that's really what I'm trying to figure out, right? Because I don't want to just create a generic product that's somebody already is doing a good job,
Right.
I don't want to compete with that, especially if somebody already has the jump start on me. So that's what I'll be working on, I think, is just continuing with that type of work, market research, I guess.
Cool. Excellent. Well, awesome.
Awesome.
Micro workout, push-ups.
Yeah.
All right.
I have to look around like, where am I?
For easier time, I'll start the clock at 5 for me, 8 for you. Yeah, at the hour. That'll be easier just to time it out.
Okay.
Cool. Other than that, at the end of the study hall, black, hey, study hall's over, and you just kind of say if you got everything done. And I'm going to put my study hall to do as a Habitica task, so I can click it. So I'm going to make it one task to say like Magellan study hall, whatever, and then I'm going to make it.
And then just do the checklist.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys in black.
Sounds good.
Do good stuff. Peace.
Ciao.
Bye, guys.